Well, as the sweet corn is now forming little tiny cobs, I need to think about starting to protect them when they come ready. And I think it was last year I discovered this stuff, this stainless steel meshing. I found it online and I just thought that is the perfect solution to cover my cobs, to stop the rats and mice getting at them. And indeed it was, because not a cob was touched as soon as these went over the cobs. Before that, there was just carnage every night. There was 12 to 15 cobs just being completely destroyed by the rats. So I made these. I bought a sheet of this. It's quite expensive for what it is, really. So I think each one of them worked out about maybe £1, although it's potentially that's going to last you forever, being stainless steel. So over 10 years, it's 10p a year, which is okay, I suppose. But since I'm not buying any more of that, like I say, it's just too expensive for my taste. This is going to work just as well. So this is some 1/2-inch wire netting, and all it's going to do, it's going to stop the rat from getting its mouth around the cob and chewing into it. So the rat's going to come up against this mesh. It's probably going to chew on the mesh and try and get its head through the mesh to get at the corn. It's not going to be able to, so it might just have a peck at the surface. It's going to realise very quickly, the really smart rats, that it can't get into cobs that have got this over them. The rats will not only target the top of the cob, they will also chew around the base of the cob. So I found that it was important to just cut a little notch in the bottom corner, because that is the stem of the corn, so that the meshing can go right up against the stem like that, and then it covers the corn here at the base. You'll just have the stalk here, then the cob will be starting about there, so the rat can't get its head up underneath and chew around the base of the cob. So that's why I put that little V in. I folded the tops over these like that. I can also do the same with this meshing, just round the top over. I am also going to just cut a little V in the bottom of that one as well, like so. So there's my notch, and now they will fit beautifully on the corn plants. It depends on how long your cobs are, but these are between 9 and 10 inches long. And all I do, this is some just bog standard 1/2-inch wire netting. This was left at the gate, somebody had left it. I was really pleased when I found it. Just take a pair of snips and I just cut down, one of the rows there, like that. This is about 10 inches long, this length I'm cutting off here. Just cuts really easy. It's got a few holes in it, but that's not going to matter. The reason they're doubled is because, I don't know, but I'm just hedging bets just in case the rat can get its snout through that hole and just start chewing on the cob. So what I've been tending to do is just wind them around double like that, and then the netting kind of overlaps, so it hasn't got any root in through there. So once you've got it into your rune shape, which is cob width, which is about yay wide, something like that, about 2 inches, then all I do is I just wrap these loose tags on the end here. I'll actually cut them off because it'll just leave a few more little tags exposed. So when you've got all these little tags, you can just bend them, just bend them in. Just push them in a bit so they just catch on the netting, like so. Then you can just fold the top in a little bit, like so. Just stops it at getting in through the top. That's a bit big, that one. Then just cut your notch out the bottom there. There we go. So that's now perfectly placed to stick over a cob. But like I say, a little bit wide, that one. That's sort of the perfect size, that 2.5 inches wide, something like that. Beautiful. So on this side of the corn, away from the sun, this is also a viable option, putting a pipe over the cob. Ideally I'd cut a little notch in that, I can't be bothered, but I did use these last year as well. These also worked. The trouble with these is you don't want them in full sun and ideally you'd have something like a white pipe which is going to reflect the heat better. These will suck in heat from the sun. If they're in direct sunlight, they'll get really warm inside, and they tend to spoil, they really spoil the cob. It just gets a pasty taste to it, the cob. Well, I will use those away, because I probably won't get time to make enough of these. I'm looking at maybe 150 cobs this year, I hope anyway. You just don't know, do you? So where these are really on the shaded side of the corn and the sun can't get on them, I'll use these if I have to. You can also use, where is it? It's fell off. Right, at a push you could use this square meshing as well. You can get a finer square mesh than that, but it's kind of a lot stiffer, this stuff. But you can see that would also work to stop Rattus getting his dirty snout through the wire and into your corn. A lot of people cover the corn with socks, old smelly socks and things like that. And my friend over there, Roz, she when I was showing her the rat damage last year on the cobs, she said, I've always put socks on mine, they've never been touched for 10-15 years. I've put socks on, the mice and rats leave them alone. Well, last year she told me that, and about 3 weeks later she said, what did you do to stop the rats eating your cobs? Because the rats have been on mine and they've chewed big holes in the socks and eaten the cobs. So I'd actually, by then I'd removed an awful lot of cobs, so I lent her a load of these and she put these over her cobs, and anyway, they didn't get at them after that. So I've got maybe 30 of these. I've got maybe 15-20 of these. I'm going to have to try and make about 30 of them, because I've just got way more corn this year. Right, let's have a look at the corn, shall we? And I will just show you briefly how I am going to pollinate the corn for save seed for next year. And with the aid of this little incredible corn cob, and move them out the way, I'm just going to show you how these guards fit. So there's the notch there. The notch just goes there and there. Just over like that. And that is your cob protected from the rats and the mice. No need yet. The rats and mice will not come until these cobs start swelling up. And just as you're ready to pick the cobs, that is when the rats and mice will arrive and eat them for you. They kind of cut out the middleman. You go to all this trouble of growing them, making sure they're pollinated, watering them and weeding them, and then the mice and rats will come along and just eat them for you. She's very, very kind of them. Here we are in the land of the giant corn. Oh, the golden bantam corn has literally just started putting out pollen. It's behind the incredible corn behind me, and it's the perfect time now to capture some of this pollen to pollinate its own cobs. So I've got to kind of isolate the pollen. I can see the pollen just falling off this. I'm going to shake the pollen off into this bag if I can, or some of it. Yeah, it's working. We're getting some. I'm trying not to rattle the tassels behind me on the incredible corn. Right, I have just checked the corn, the covers over the cobs, and there's one over there that's got beautiful tassels on it. So I'm going to pollinate now, but I will show you on this cob here, which has also been covered, what I'm going to do. I mean, it's risky this. There's a good chance of cross-pollination from these incredible cobs just here to there, and there's already loads of pollen sort of dropped off that plant, which I'm just going to shake. Just sort of knock a bit of that pollen off. But right, I covered these little cobs with these paper bags, just as they started to emerge from the plant. The little things that come out of here are called the silks, and that's what gets pollinated by the head of the plant. I'm going to uncover the one at the back, and I'm going to put this bag over it to completely pollinate those little silks, and then I'm going to put my paper cover back over it to stop any further pollination. I just need to cover that again. I've got 4 cobs covered in this golden bantam bed, and I've got 2 over that side, which is probably going to be a lot better because they're a little bit away from the pollen on these incredible cobs. And I've managed to pollinate 2 of the silks, so 2 of the silks are out of the 4 cobs. So and there's this one and one at the end that isn't yet out. The silks aren't out, so I will wait a couple of days, 2 or 3 days, come back and try these 2. There's also, I've just noticed, there's also some more little cobs forming on the plants along there, so I may just actually put covers on them, take these covers off these and put them on them over that side, and then just use them as the seed for next year. As I say, just because they're away from this corn now, which this is the tallest plant, guys. Look at that, it's at my fingertips, which is going to be 8 foot. Absolutely incredible. And that's the corn variety. Incredible, amazing. It's never grown this tall before, never. Right, I don't want to preempt anything or tempt fate, but I think it looks like these inoculated sweet corn with the Phragmites root inoculation, the microbe inoculation, it looks like they could be producing as many as 5 cobs per plant. Now it looks like it. I'm not saying that's going to happen, but spoiler, I'm not going to spoil it, I'm not going to ruin it by filming it. So I'll bring you back when they're a bit more advanced, and I think it's only probably going to be a week to 10 days, and we'll just see how many cobs these plants are producing. They're massive. They're huge. Right guys, that's the end of this one. If I can get out, that there in front of me is a tiller. So that's a tiller coming from this plant. The tiller is only, what, 18 inches now below the height of the actual plant. Wow. Right, I'm very happy with my corn. I will see you quite soon, guys. Bye for now. I'm going to go home because it's so hot. You know, it's just ridiculously hot. There's not a breath of wind, but there's bloody horseflies everywhere. Just seen one then land on me. My face is sweating and they're trying to land on my face. Oh, I've got to go. One thing I hate, guys, is just being bitten, because my body does not like being bitten by insects. Right, catch you on the next one. Bye for now.